Let's take a look at these ADPs here, and then we will get out of here. So we're just going to go one by one. I don't really have a plan. I just want to see who has been good, who has been okay for us. Number 1, Jamar Chase. Nope. Obviously, he has not been wide receiver 1. And without Joe Burrow, has not been good. He's coming off a decent week, but has not been worth a first-round pick for sure. Bijan's been great. So Bijan has filled his role nicely. He's put up his end of the bargain. Number 3, Saquon has not. Saquon has been almost outrushed by, he's been outrushed by Nick Chubb, right? Or almost has. Nick Chubb was declared dead, and they have the same amount of rushing yards, essentially. So Saquon has not been good. Jahmyr Gibbs, I think, has been good. Let's look at the leaders. Let's compare leaders and ADP. We'll go running back. We'll go half PPR. I think that's what the ADP was. So Jahmyr Gibbs has been 5. So he is held up his end of the bargain. He's been good. I just clicked something I shouldn't have clicked. Okay. So Jamar Chase, no. Bijan, yes. Barkley, no. Gibbs, yes. CeeDee's been hurt. Not his fault, but that's a no. Justin Jefferson's a no, I think, as well. I think he's about to get better. Where does he rank so far? Justin Jefferson. He's not that low. I must have missed him. 12. I don't know if that qualifies as a bust. Obviously weighted heavily because of the last 2 weeks. I don't think that's a bust. I think Justin Jefferson's been fine enough. Christian McCaffrey's been worth it for sure. Malik Neighbors, no. Amon-Ra St. Brown, yes. Derrick Henry, no. Ashton Genty is finally starting to come around, but I think at the moment the answer would still be no. I think no, he has not been worth that draft pick. Puka, for sure. Nico, no, but it's trending in the right direction now. A-Chain. Is A-Chain a no? A-Chain's close. He has been running back 6, so he has to be a yes. He hasn't been... His numbers are better than how he's been playing, I suppose. So A-Chain's a yes. Brian Thomas is a no. Josh Jacobs is a no. Drake London is probably a yes. He got hurt, which impacts everything. 35 on a points per game basis. He's closer to 20. I'll say no for now. Jonathan Taylor's been worth it for sure. Brock Bowers has not. Josh Allen has not. Where does Josh Allen rank among fantasy quarterbacks right now? Really? Okay, he's been a lot better than I thought he's been. Wow. I don't know why. Is that shocking to anybody else that Josh Allen's number 1 on a points per game basis? That just tells you everybody's had a bad week so far. And this isn't the Josh Allen. What did he average last year? Probably close to this, but he averaged 22 last year. He's averaged 24 this year, but it's weighted so heavily because of that 38-point game. So has Josh Allen been worth it? I guess the answer is yes. But taking out that one game, he's been around a 20-point per game guy, and that's not worth it, man. That's just comparable to everybody else. The answer is yes on a technicality, I think. AJ Brown, no. Chase Brown, no. Lamar, I guess the answer is yes, but trending in the wrong direction because of that injury. Probably out the next 2 weeks. He has a game this week he's going to miss, most likely, and then he's got that bye week. After that, I think Lamar is going to be great, but I think the answer is yes. Bucky Irving, even though he's missing time now, the answer is yes. Carden Williams, yes. Ladd McConkey, no, but trending in the right direction. Trey McBride, yes. James Cook, yes. Jane Daniels, no. T. Higgins, no. So if we're looking at the top 30 players, how many were yeses? We got Bijan, 1. Gibbs, 2. Jefferson, 3. McCaffrey, 4. Amon-Ra, 5. Puka, 6. A-Chain, 7. Jonathan Taylor, 8. Josh Allen, 9. Lamar, 10. Bucky, 11. Kyron, 12. McBride, 13. Cook, 14. 14. Less than half of the top 30 players have been worth it. Some trending in the right direction, some trending in the wrong direction. And then Josh Allen, I'm saying, is worth it because he's quarterback 1. But aside from one outlier, he has been comparable to everybody else. So if you drafted him at 20 overall, comparatively, due to the position, he has not been worth it, in my opinion. We're just going to go basics, basic numbers, basic facts that we know. So I guess technically the answer is yes, but in my opinion, he has not been worth it. What do you see, or what do you think about Waddle? Do you see him as a solid wide receiver 2? I'm still not totally convinced about the offense, though. Agreed. I'm not sold on him as a player. Obviously, I hate Tua with every ounce of my being. You're new here, I believe, so you probably don't know that. So very biased there. I just hate Tua as a human more than anything, and a football player. Solid wide receiver 2, though. He's about there. Like, he has to see the targets. He's going to have weeks where he disappears because that's what Jalen Waddle does. I would say solid to low end wide receiver 2. The good news is I think he is safe in terms of, he's not going to have the Jamar Chase effect where Joe Burrow goes out and then he plummets. If Tua gets hurt, Quinn Ewers or Zach Wilson play, and I think he's still just as good. So he's a fine wide receiver 2. And then wanted to add a quick note. I watched the game. I can't help but feel concerned about Worthy. He appears to be hindered by the injuries and didn't make many impactful plays. Shoulder was less of an issue last night. It was more of the ankle, which popped up, and he had a real shot to miss the game. There's a real chance Worthy did not play. And then we saw him a few times get banged up, and he just continued to fight through it. So for a receiver who relies almost solely on his speed, ankle injury, not the best thing. So you're right to be concerned. I do think better days ahead. I thought he looked pretty good, to be honest, but overall ceiling is for sure capped. If he's given the opportunity to run out of bounds 5 yards early or fight for extra yardage, given his shoulder, he's just not going to fight for the extra yardage. That's just what he's being told right now, which is fully fair. It's just not great for fantasy, so that stinks. An interesting conversation would be Waddle or Xavier Worthy on a week-by-week basis, and that's very, very close. And I'm trying to think of my answer. I actually don't know. My plan today, by the way, I'm going to edit the waiver wire video and post that. But then I want to do my rest of season rankings. And then from my rest of season rankings, I can derive my trade value chart. So this question will kind of be answered once I do those rankings. But I think I still want Worthy rest of season a little bit more. And I do mean a little bit. They might be back to back. But you're right that he didn't make very many impactful plays. But I think the Jaguars match up pretty well in terms of defending Xavier Worthy. And not everybody's going to have that luxury. Not everyone's going to have a Travis Hunter who can be just as athletic as Xavier Worthy, or some of those other D-backs for Jacksonville are pretty athletic. Not everybody has that, has those players on defense. So I think better days ahead for Xavier Worthy. His ankle will be healthier going forward, hopefully. And both of those guys are going to have some bad games, though. That's just kind of who they are as players, unfortunately. And Xavier Worthy could actually end up getting a decent amount better once Rashee Rice is back. Because if Xavier Worthy is all of a sudden an afterthought, if he's not the focus of the defense, then shit, that's when he becomes dangerous as hell. So Xavier Worthy, I hate putting this term on players, especially because it doesn't mean anything. And people just like to use buzzwords, but I'm going to do it for you right now. Xavier Worthy could be a league winner for you. Whereas I don't think there's really any chance Jalen Waddle is. Jalen Waddle is just a decent depth piece, but Worthy could theoretically, potentially be a league winner when Rashee Rice comes back. The Chiefs need to stay aggressive to get some wins, especially after losing to the Jags, because they don't have that tiebreaker if it comes down to wild card, and they need to win the division or win enough AFC games to get that wild card. So better days ahead for the Chiefs, better days ahead for Xavier Worthy. Waddle, probably about where he is right now. McWhopper, what waiver wire ads would you recommend? Good news for you. I'm going to end the stream and you can just watch it back. And I'm going to edit it and publish a video because we just spent an hour talking about it. But what I will do for you really quick, because I can already tell you're a G. You're good to go. So, where am I looking? Waiver wire rankings. So we just went through this. We went position by position, depending on what you need. I think Michael Carter of these players is the top choice. I wasn't able to edit the player pool. I'm only able to edit where the players are that Fantasy Pros gives me. And that is a major flaw because there's definitely players I would have put higher. And obviously some of it's sorted by ownership, but some of it is just, I don't know who they pick, I guess. But Michael Carter, Hassan Haskins, Kendry Miller, Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Davis, those are my running backs. Bad waiver wire week for wide receivers. I have Troy Franklin at 1, Trey Tucker 2, Darnell Mooney 3. But I would assume if you are on a 12-team or smaller league, there's going to be better wide receivers on waivers than those options. And then tight ends, I think we have some decent options this week. We got Mason Taylor. We got Evan Engram. We got Harold Fannin. We got AJ Barner. All of them are pretty good. Theo Johnson's pretty good. Defenses, we got some good streaming defenses. We got some good kickers to stream and pick up. Look at the Colts kicker as well. He is not in this player pool because I'm not sure if we know who he is yet. But yeah, those are some names for you. But also go to flurrysports.org. This is my snap count article, so I would definitely go check that out. That helps with value. But Henry posted an article on here today as well. The best waiver wire pickups here on flurrysports.org. And as you can see, Darren Waller, number 1. And that's because Darren Waller in ESPN leagues is only owned in 48%. So he was not included in the Fantasy Pros pool there. But if Darren Waller is out there for you, go ahead and pick him up. And check out some of these other names that Henry listed. Some of them we talked about, some of them weren't included, but definitely a good article for you. Fuck yeah.